Welcome to the Social Smarty Scoop for the week ending the 5th of May 2024. I have scoured all the social media marketing updates for the past week and I have just the information you need to know. Let's get into it. First up, big news from Instagram. So Instagram has announced that they will be updating their algorithm in the coming months. Now, there are 4 key areas that you need to be aware of with this update. So first up, Instagram is revising its algorithm to improve visibility for smaller creators. Now, this is amazing news for those of us who have a smaller account, who like to create reels like me. I love creating that type of content. So Instagram has announced that they will basically be prioritizing those smaller creators and showing their reels to a selected audience first. And if those reels perform very well with their audience, then the most successful ones are going to be progressively pushed out to wider audiences. Now, the interesting thing is I think I have this happening on one of my reels currently. So I have a reel that I posted almost a month ago, and it is still generating between maybe 2,000 and 5,000 views every single day. Now, for social media posts, even for reels, that is really unusual. So I suspect that this algorithm update is either in testing or there's something that's technically happening in the back end that is really pushing this reel out. Now, the next update you need to be aware of is around original content. So Instagram have said that they will prioritize original content in its recommendations. So what that means is when it is recommending content, so this is not showing content to your followers, but recommending it to a new audience, it is going to prioritize original content. Now that means that it won't prioritize reposts or content that has been shared on multiple accounts. So if identical content is found, only the original version will be recommended. So the very first time that that content was posted, unless the duplicate content has been significantly altered. So what do they mean by significantly altered? Well, they have explained that they mean that the content has been edited in a way that it has transformed the content into maybe a meme or a parody, or there's some other creative variation. Now, the next thing you need to know is Instagram will be adding labels to reposted content with a direct link back to the original creator. So if, for example, you have an account where you share a lot of reposted content, there will be labels on that content and it will link back to the very first person who posted that content. Now, for now, these labels can be either removed by the original creator or the reposter, but that policy may change and we may not have the ability to remove those labels. And lastly, there will be restrictions on content aggregator accounts. So imagine an account that basically just reposts content. So they basically pull together other people's posts. For example, here in Hawke's Bay, where I live, there is one account that reposts all sorts of fantastic photos and videos from the local area. Now, that account will be in trouble because Instagram have said that if there are accounts out there that frequently repost content without those significant modifications, they will be temporarily excluded from Instagram's recommendations. So basically, their content won't reach as many people, and for 30 days, they won't be eligible to get pushed out through that recommended content. So remember, recommended content is the content that is shown to people who don't follow you. So just because of the topic that you're posting about is something that they may be interested in, that's how we increase our reach on Instagram. Okay, so what the heck does this mean for you? Well, there's 3 points I want to highlight here. Number 1 is focus on creating original content. You will get better reach and engagement by creating and posting original content. The next thing I want to mention is about reposts. So just be a bit cautious with your reposts. So remember that reposted content won't perform as well unless it has been significantly modified. So instead of just reposting content, use Instagram's collaboration features. So for example, if you're working with an influencer or a content creator and they're likely to post that content to their account, use those collaboration features so that it's very clear where that content came from. And lastly, remember that if you are reposting content, then it is likely that that content is going to have a label on it, and some of that attention on that content might be diverted back to the original poster. So let me know if you want to have more of a discussion around these changes to Instagram. Come and find me on social media. I'd love to continue the conversation. I'm at socialsmarty.co. Next up, Instagram has dropped 4 new story stickers. Now, I had a bit of a play with these yesterday. The stickers are frames. So frames adds a Polaroid style frame to an image, and then the viewers can reveal the image by shaking the phone or shaking their Instagram account. I haven't had a look at this on desktop. I'm not quite sure how that will work, but it's a bit of fun. It's like shaking an old Polaroid picture. The next one is an Add Yours sticker, which we're quite used to now. You know, someone will upload a picture of their pet and say, add yours. But this one is an Add Yours for music. So you can add your own music through the Instagram app, but based on a prompt. So yesterday I shared this sticker and I added my all-time favorite song, and then I encouraged viewers to add theirs. The next one is called Reveal. So this is another, I think it's quite a cool one that encourages engagement. So basically you upload an image and you add a description to it, and the viewers can't actually see that image until they send you a direct message. So the direct message reveals the image. So it's about encouraging that engagement again. And then lastly is cutouts. This one actually isn't that new. It is where it takes your image and it finds a subject within that image. So it might be a person or it might be an item, and it turns that into a sticker for you. So a little bit of fun there with some new stickers. Now, Instagram is working on a clear mode for Reels. Now, this is literally stolen from TikTok, but over on TikTok, when you're watching the videos, you can switch to clear mode, and what that does is it removes all those icons on the side, that caption at the bottom, and basically you just have the video in the screen. So Instagram is working on the same mode for Reels so that we can watch those Reels uninterrupted. Now, Facebook will soon allow users to directly share a Reel as a story as well. Now, if you're like me, that's a bit of a workflow for me. I share a reel and then I share it to my stories because I want to get the most views on that reel as possible. So this will just be a great time saver. It will upload both at once, so the reel and the story. Now, another cool feature which I really love the idea of is something that Instagram is currently testing, and that's when you upload a reel, but the reel is longer than 15 seconds. So when you share that reel to your stories, of course what we see is just those first 15 seconds of the reel, and then people have to click to watch more. Now, Instagram is working on a feature where you can actually choose which 15 seconds of that reel will be shown as the story. So, of course, we want to pick the 15 seconds that leaves people hanging. They want to click through and see the rest of that reel. So I think this is a great new addition. Now, LinkedIn has finally added a saved post link to its mobile app. This is something I get asked over and over again. People save posts on LinkedIn and want to revisit them, but it has been almost impossible to find those saved posts again. So this one is well overdue. So I'm really grateful that LinkedIn has finally taken care of that. Now, Meta is rolling out a new AI-generated label, which means that when you post content to Facebook, you can turn on this label to declare your content is AI generated. Now, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of this around on social media. Meta is also working on a version for Instagram stories where you declare that your story was created by AI. But I think this is a really important thing as we move more into AI generated content, that we make it really clear what is actually generated by AI. Now, Instagram is working on a faster way to send DMs to a profile. Now, what this looks like is when you visit a profile on Instagram, you'll see a wee box at the top next to their profile where you can quickly send them a DM. LinkedIn has rolled out 3 puzzle games to its desktop and mobile app. Now, this is all about trying to increase time spent on the app. Now, think about Wordle and how crazy that was, how everyone became addicted to it. So these puzzles are very, very similar. So there's 3 puzzles: pinpoint, queens, and cross climb. Very fast, easy. You can kind of whip them out between 5 and 10 minutes. They're daily puzzles, so you can only play once per day. And of course, you can share your score with your network on LinkedIn. Now, I had a wee bit of a play with these yesterday. I found them really fun and I really enjoyed Queens. If you want to check out these games for yourself, head to linkedin.com/games. Now, Threads is rolling out the ability to turn off post quoting so that no one can share your post with their own thoughts. So why would we bother with something like that? Well, it means that people can't share your post and add their own thoughts, which may be negative. So, for example, if you posted something that you know is a little bit controversial and some people might take that content and add their own 2 cents to it, you could turn off the post quoting for that post. And it's interesting because the head of Threads, who's also the head of Instagram, has said that the reason for rolling this out is to help shape Threads into a place that's more positive and less angry, or in other words, less like X or Twitter. Now, over on X/Twitter, we know that this is a common practice. People will take a post, add their own thoughts, often mocking or disagreeing. So it's interesting that Threads have directly taken on this type of behaviour and made it possible for us to prevent it. Now, finally, TikTok and the Universal Music Group, UMG, have settled their royalty dispute. They have a new licensing agreement in place, and that means that UMG's music is going to return to the platform. Really great news. And lastly, just a quick update on the possible US TikTok ban. So President Joe Biden has now signed the bill to ban TikTok in the US unless the owner, which is the Chinese tech company ByteDance, sells the app. So ByteDance has 9 months to sell or be banned. Now, if it is likely that a sale is on the cards towards the end of those 9 months, I believe there's an extra period of 90 days, so it may be extended. But TikTok have basically said that they're not keen to sell. So apparently the US only provides a quarter of TikTok's global revenue and only represents about 5% of ByteDance's daily active users across all of its media platforms. So if ByteDance doesn't want to sell TikTok, the next step for them is to lawyer up and challenge this new law in court. Now, there you have it. Those are your updates for the week ending the 5th of May, 2024. If you want to continue the conversation, come and find me over on social media. You'll find me at socialsmarty.co on all the platforms. Until next week, stay social.